Всем привет, это Pigeon TV, Легенда, Дмитрий, Денис Граевский. Сегодня у нас знаменательное событие, сегодня в гостях Филипп Торрольд, все знают Филиппа. Привет, Филипп.
Hello.
Привет. Филипп, кто не знает, я скажу, что это человек, который открыл для нас спортинг, английский спортинг, человек, у которого очень много людей тренируются и тренировались и в Англии, и на сборах на Кипре, и в России, тренировал он по всем городам. Сам он трехкратный победитель British Open, знаменитейшего турнира в Англии, чемпион мира по фидикату, чемпион Европы, который проходил в Лисе-на-Реде в 2010, по-моему, или 2012 году. Вот, поэтому мы сегодня поговорим с Филиппом на самые разные темы. Мы собрали много вопросов от стрелков, от заинтересованных лиц. Поэтому начнем нашу беседу. Первый вопрос. Все знают, что Филипп несколько лет назад организовал в Англии свою академию, где обучает начинающих стрелков стрельбе, спортингу, английскому спортингу, вообще стрельбе. Поэтому мы задаем вопрос Филиппу следующий. Филипп, расскажи немножко о своей академии, вообще как ты тренируешь, кто тренирует, с чего вы начинаете обучение, как долго происходит обучение, если кто-то хочет из России приехать в Англию и потренироваться. Несколько слов.
So we basically take people from beginners at the age of 9 or 10, depend on their physical stance.
What kind of guns? 410?
410 caliber for the youngsters. And then when they're about 13, 14, we move them to 28 gauge. And then when they're 16 years old, we move them on to 12 gauges.
Okay.
And we also specialise in hunters coming, where we teach them the best forms of, the best move for hunting, which type of bird they specialise in, maybe ducks, pheasants.
Any specific technique for hunters?
The
Professional shooters can shoot every technique, I think, yes?
Yes, professional shooter understand the best moves, most effective move for the angle and the speed of the target.
And for the hunters, pull away, slowly pull away? Yeah?
The hunters, first we explain to them what's the characteristic of the bird, what they're hunting, and what the bird will do when they approach it. And when you understand what the bird's going to do, you will then prepare yourself to catch it in the most effective position. I.e., if there's a duck on the water, as soon as it sees you, that will take off. Where if you're decoying ducks, you never move and you keep your gun low in the hide until the duck's actually got its wings folded back and fully committed to the water. So we do this this schooling for the hunters, and then for shooters, i.e. from Russia, they come over, stop for a week's course. We first train them, look at how the shooter's performing, and then I assess the timing, the concentration, which moves are effective, which are not, and we then shoot for 3 or 4 days. Then we go to a competition ground, local competition ground, and shoot the targets on that ground. English sporting. And then we discuss what the mistakes were. And then when the shooter starts to understand his own mistakes, he can then come back to Russia and progress forward.
What the average amount of cartridges during the ceremonies?
Depending on the shooter. Some shooters shoot 500 in a day, but more experienced shooters, like treble A shooters, that's no problem to shoot 1,000 targets in a day. And this way, it's not just about shooting 1,000 targets for the sake of pulling the trigger. Every target must be broken. So we then pushing the concentration barrier further by shooting maybe a simple target or a difficult target, doesn't matter. You're then processing that shooter to be able to take the concentration under pressure.
So it's some kind of person-oriented method, yes?
Yeah, because every shooter is individual.
Yes.
And I analyse what's the weakest points in the shooter, what's the positive, and then we explain that, and concentrate on the weaker points. So the balance of all the shooter's capabilities, there's no weakness.
As I read, the newcomer, it's training your son, and then the next level you. Yeah?
Yes, that's right. So there's me and my son work full time at the academy, and we
What
also
about your
have.
daughter? No?
And my daughter does the administration work.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So it's a family business, and
How many layouts you have? How many machines?
we have about 50 machines, and they're all remote control. So when a shooter comes, he's got 25 traps to train himself. It's not interrupted by other people. So it's like a big cube, and you can move around just to create a distance or a speed and an angle of a target which you're having difficulties with.
So Philip, from what country shooters you train? You know, past years, for example.
Really international, because I have shooters come from America. Yeah, we have shooters come from America.
They prefer English style, right?
No, they're already shooting their techniques, and when they come over to shoot competitions, the major ones, they call in at my shooting academy, and we just brush up on certain things. And so I have people from Cyprus, from Europe, from Russia, and so it's really international.
Sometimes here you have some kind of training course in Cyprus, yes? In
Yes.
February and March. Several words about it. What's the difference from your academy, from your Philip of course?
Yeah, the idea is in February, March in England it's normally raining. So we go to Cyprus because the weather conditions are good, and they got super layouts there. So what we do is we meet in Cyprus.
Теперь несколько вопросов о непосредственно стрельбе в Англии. Немногие там были, но основная стрельба в Англии – это так называемый английский спортинг или дуплетная стрельба. Это примерно 80% соревнований, может быть даже 85% соревнований проводится именно по английскому спортингу, по дуплетной стрельбе. Вот, это традиция английская. Плюс вот в последнее время мы видим, что вводится такое соревнование, как спорт-рапид, без ограничений по скорости, по дальности. Очень такой жесткий, тяжелый компакт-спортинг. Вот. Ну, спрошу Филиппа, что он думает о фитас-спортинге, где низко нужно опускать оружие. Что он думает, особенно важный вопрос, меня он тоже интересует, об участии в тренировочном процессе, задействовании в тренировочном процессе олимпийских дисциплин, олимпийский трап, олимпийский скид, дубль-трап. Вот. И почему они все-таки для начинающих практикуют стрельбу так называемый down the line, то есть это такой ослабленный трап, и английский скид, это опять же схож с олимпийским скидом, только менее быстрый, не такой далекий заброс мишени. Сейчас поговорим. So, Philip, about tradition shooting doubles, English sporting doubles.
Yes.
Why doubles? Why not compact sporting? Why not Vitas sporting? What the age of traditional to shoot doubles in England?
How it all started out was in the beginning, 90 or 100 years ago, was people got a clay trap to practice for hunting. So what happened then, as clay shooting progressed, they had one clay trap and another one set in a field. So then you would shoot one trap and then the second. And so there was no such thing as the invention of compact sporting as a set sequence. So this was in fields, in hunting locations. So then it grew from maybe 2 traps to 4 traps up to 20 traps. So you had 10 stands which created 100 targets. And then what they did was they put each 10 targets representing a hunting quarry. So you'd have a rabbit target, you'd have a high pheasant driven target, you'd have targets which were coming in, dropping, which they called ducks. You had parallel doubles, which they called partridge, and
Ducks also.
And ducks, yeah. So this was how English sporting was originated, It was originated for that purpose. And as shooting progressed, people then come up with the different ideas where you have your Olympic disciplines, and then we did sport trap, compact, sport trap. We just, in England, we don't have a limit of 35 metres. You can go up to 50 metres, and you have a single, one on report, a pair on report, and then a simultaneous pair.
Do you like sport trap?
Yeah, I like all shooting. And basically, a sport and shooter has to be able to hit anything. So a sport and shooter needs to learn trap and ski, Olympic disciplines, because you're going to catch that type of speeds in sporting targets.
The very interesting speed of trap and skeet, it's very, very high speed.
Yes, very high speed. And an Olympic shooter understands the timings and the concentration to the perfection level, where in sport and shooting you may only see an Olympic speed target, I don't know, 5 times out of 100. And so, but you need to be able to shoot that target to, if it's an extreme target with a closed edge, you need 4 out of the 5. So you don't need the 100%, because in English sport and they're not shooting 100 straights. On a good typical layout, shooting around 93, 94, depending on the distance, the course setters layout.
So what's your opinion, what will be good result for the sporting shooting, Olympic trap and Olympic ski? As for you?
I like to think 80%.
80?
80, yeah.
So it's about 20, 21, maybe 22 from 21.
Yep, that's it. So, and then if you concentrated on it more and forget about the other disciplines, then you would then have to get up to the 24s, 25s.
Okay, so Russian people like the straight answers. So
yes.
What percentages of from the whole training course shooting trap, Olympic trap and skeet you recommended? 20%, 30%?
Must be 20%, 20%.
Both Olympic trap, Olympic skeet.
20%.
So maybe one course, 125 straight during the one training day.
Yes, that's right.
Yes,
that's right.
Yes, and in England you shoot a lot of detail and English skeet. So what's the difference between Olympic and these English disciplines?
They're like about 20% less speed.
20%?
About 20%. 15 to 20% less speed.
And it's very useful for the newcomers, yeah?
That's good for the newcomers. That gives them a chance to catch the targets and learn their mistakes.
Not to be afraid, not
because
to be disappointed.
The Olympic disciplines, you have to understand the timing, and if you can't mount the gun at the exact point in your shoulder, at the exact timing right, you miss a target. Where with the English ski and the DTL, you can put your gun in your shoulder to start with, you can hold it higher, there's no delay, and it gives them a chance to catch the targets. And basically then they have to train, and it's possible to shoot the 100 straights, the 99s, because of the speed of the targets.
Okay, a lot of people ask a question about what is more different, or what is more not useful but more important for the shooter, eyes, mind or techniques. I think both of it. No, not both.
It's a whole combination.
The whole combination. Yes. The whole combination. So, and we discussed with you what is you need to have a right move when you shoot. Less, it's not so important. Lead, it's not so important, but the right move.
The right move for the angle. For the angle. If you don't use the most effective move for that angle, you can practice for a lifetime, you'll never achieve the 100% level that somebody's using the correct move, the most effective move. And what happens some shooters, you could hit it with a different move, but not so effective to the percentage.
And question about walk of your eyes. What do you think about walking eyes in sporting? What do you think? I know you always said focus, 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 but it's only a word. Can you open this term?
This with the focus of the eyes focus the target, and it never drops off the focus of the target. So if you've got your gun here, what happens in fit-out sporting, people find it difficult to mount the gun, but realistically what causes a problem is the eyes focus the target, and then in the process of them lifting their gun up,
they leave the target.
Their eyes leave
the barrel,
leave the target for a microsecond, focus the barrel, and this breaks the timing for your instincts to learn the judgment of the distance and the speed. And when you switch off completely, you see the lead in slow motion, and it's just that you kill a target with just your eyes.
The next question is about your mental game. A lot of questions to Philipp Torrольd. What he think during the shooting range? No, during the shooting, when you shoot the first, second, third target, and before maybe 7 seconds before the shoot. What do you think? Or how you control your inner voice?
Yeah, I learned myself to switch off, and basically I think there's like a gesture in your head. If that gesture asks you a question, if a gesture says it's a difficult target, it can say anything, because when you're switching the mind off, that's completely clear. So what I put in my head is I look at the target and I understand the angle, I understand the position of shooting that target, and then there's nothing in my head, I only focus the target.
You visualize your shooting and dusting the target?
No, I just understand where I'm going to break the target.
What's the most important for you? Speed, angle and speed, or distance, or both? Or maybe percentage?
We take care of them in training. So we analyse it when we're training. Different distances and the lead pitches, we call them a pitcher. And what happens then when you go to the competition, totally automatic. So when you're driving your car down the road, you drive your car, but you never take your eyes off the road. You never look inside your car, you don't think how you drive your car. And the more you drive your car faster, the more you just focus on the road. And actually, if you drive your car really fast, with the radio music on, you will concentrate so you don't hear the music. And you will drive your car, and when you think back, you won't understand all the road. You'll drive your car with your subconscious. And when you're focused on the road, if there's a pedestrian come or a car comes across you, your body automatically hit the brake, or you go to one side or the other. Meaning, when we're shooting in a competition, I know the angle of the target. I don't think, I can analyse the distance a little bit. You think, oh, that's good. Not too much, because it makes you think. So you don't need to think. Basically, you look where the angle of the target is. This is the most effective area to break it. Say we're going to hold the gun low, our eyes are to the left, then just focus the target, the gun will come in, the eyes stay on the target, the gun comes up to your cheek, and you're looking at the target all the time, and your lead automatically goes there. And then you see it in slow motion. But if there's a question in your brain, that breaks the timing. And this is where we have to train. When people say, why do you shoot 1,000 cartridges a day? As to get this sensation of being automatic.
Can you explain this one? Eyes first, then hands. What it means?
The eyes must always focus the target because that's what's going to give you your timing. So you always hold. I always teach people to hold the gun stock parallel with their forearm. If you want to put it higher, you can, but realistically, if this is always in the same position, so this is the ready position, and then this is one move, but that's automatic, perfect position, perfect on your cheek, so the gun is center of your focus.
For the newcomers, you maintain their stock, yes?
Everybody's stock we measure to touch their cheek, not too hard, not too away, so it's just firm, and the position on their finger is on this joint here, from here to here, and then as they grow, we extend the stock and lift the stock.
It's obvious to extend, yes.
As they grow.
Следующий такой цикл вопросов. Мы хотели поговорить о British Open. Ну, не секрет, что планируется в июне, 10 по 13 июня в Туле, в стрелковом клубе «Цитадель», турнир под названием «Азот Цитадель», который будет таким прообразом British Open турнира, самого знаменитого турнира в Англии. Приглашен, как мы уже говорили, и об этом на Guns.ru писали, приглашен настройщик Стив Лават. Это человек, который был архитектором программ British Open 2015 и, по-моему, 2014 года. Вот. Ну, лично для меня, как участник одного из British Open, я уже говорил свое мнение, еще раз выскажу, что это не просто какие-то там особенные полеты, хотя и разнообразие программы и вообще концепция самой программы, она, конечно, часто уникальная, оставляет неизгладимое впечатление, но это еще и такая большая традиция в Англии. Это еще такое необычное соревнование по организации, по подходам к организации соревнований, по подходам к проведению. Поэтому я хотел бы спросить Филиппа, что для него British Open, чем British Open для начала отличается от обычных, так сказать, local, местных соревнований на местном уровне. Вот, что это для них?
The British Open has really got the tradition because it's been running the longest out of all the tournaments. So it's a big tradition, and that creates an atmosphere, so it gives shooters more of adrenaline. And so that yes, when they get the adrenaline, it's more difficult for them to control their shooting. And the British Open is never more difficult than the other competitions. It's set up to be challenging in all aspects of tricky targets, tricky, deceptive angles. So you have 50% of the targets will consist of rabbits, loopers and middies. Batus. And the other 50 will be standard targets. So you'll get from the 50% of standard targets, you'll get some open, some closed on edge, going fast, and some very slow. And together with a loop and batu, or a rabbit which comes to a little bit of an incline, hits the incline and jumps, and then if you shoot the rabbit in one place, it makes this target more difficult. So sometimes you have to choose, the designers make it so that you may have to shoot a target where you don't want to shoot it, so you get the pair. And this is the technical side of the British Open, what makes it so interesting.
So you need to, you must break the target in each part of trajectory.
Yeah, because what happens if you make one target where a lot of people prefer to shoot it slower, and makes the second target more difficult. So sometimes you have to compromise the pair and shoot one where it's not so comfortable to make the other one shootable. And when they're under pressure, people are under pressure, they can't cope with this, and then they miss a pair, and So it's a very technical shoot.
Okay, I understand. So, and also there's a such thing as unique place, unique trajectories, yeah? Unique program, so you can pre-shoot this trajectories.
Yeah, you can't pre-shoot it.
Yeah.
It's a one.
It's restricted.
It's restricted. Yeah, so it's only ever set up just for that competition. Nobody's shot the targets before.
And now, British Open consists of English sporting and sport rap. Yes.
Yes.
Also, sport rap. It's very. We have already said about it. It's very difficult, compact sport. Yes. Do you have any competitions in England for the newcomers? Some kind of light.
Yeah.
Compact, what do you think about it?
The smaller gun clubs, or when they're not such a big event, they set the targets up slower and simpler, because for the club shooters and the beginners, if you set all targets up difficult, like closed edge, fast speed, long distance, people can't get to catch the targets to learn. So it's a progressive challenge to go through the classes, and so we can make sport trap as simple as you wish by bringing targets in and putting them slower, create them open.
So, in the way of growing your level in sporting, you recommended to shoot more difficult targets. Yes, long distance, great speed, and so on.
Yeah, in the beginning you need to shoot the closer targets open with the different angles. It's important you shoot all the different angles, and then once you understand the correct moves which are most effective for the angle, you can then test your skill by going faster and more distance. Because a top shooter shoots a 50-yard closed target without thinking. No different. It's actually no more difficult than a 25-yard target. Because if you think it in your mind, you'll break your timing.
What do you think? What do you think about your training sense? So during training, different shooters with different mistakes, analyzing their mistakes. What's about your own shooting? So your own results, is it going down or going up? And how you struggle with it?
Yeah, there's a non-stop struggle, because when I want to train myself, I'm teaching other people to get good results in the big championships. So it restricts my training, and also when I see so many different problems with the other shooters, explaining to correct it and going through it to correct their shooting, that puts the doubt in my mind and makes me start to think. And so where I was training myself not to think, to control my adrenaline, I'm now doing the opposite by putting it into my head instead of getting rid of it, which that affects my shooting. But at the end of the day, it's still a mind thing. So if you become stronger, there's no reason why I shouldn't. There's no reason. I like to think there's not a reason. I just got to get stronger mentally.
Следующий вопрос. Ну, вот поступил такой вопрос, он, в принципе, для меня интересен. 3 основные постулата для достижения уровня мастера спорта, скажем так, 90-92 по среднему поражающих смешения из 100. Ну, просто интересно, что ответит Филипп.
The real thing, you must hold an average. You must. I look at the average through the year, and
not each competition.
Not each competition. Yeah. So when I was a professional shooter, I'd think, right, there's 20 major competitions. I'm going to win 5. I didn't go, I'm going to win 20. I went, I'm going to win 5. So what happens is you can have a day where your timing's not 100%. You can try very hard, and you just don't get there. And another day you can be really on top form, and somebody else has just shot a freak score and beat you. So there's 2 reasons there why you didn't win. And then there's another way, when you go to the competition, everything works, you have a bit of luck and you win. and also it'll happen. You're not shooting quite to your top level. Other shooters will have a bad day, and you'll win again. So you can't pressurise yourself to think you're going to go to one competition each year and win, the same as go to 20. And once you've won your 5, you can easily win another one because you've achieved what your goal was.
Okay. So the first basic thing is to achieve, to think about average through the year. Yes.
Yeah, think about average.
Another 2 items.
Well, really, but you've got to train to keep that average. So the most important thing basically is you need to constantly train and visit the medium competitions, what I call medium competitions, because there you control your adrenaline and your concentration for the major events.
So maybe I just think about it as my opinion. You during the one training day, you need maybe 70-80% of the time train the trajectories, the targets that you missed during the competitions. Maybe that's right. Yes.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, to think about it and to shoot this where you miss to shoot. Try to be stronger in this trajectories.
Yeah, so you can't have a weak target. Meaning, if you don't like a batu or a rabbit, it's a weakness, and you can't put it right in a competition. So all targets must be just what we call normal. You can't think anything about it. If you just had some targets sitting on the floor, and I said shoot them, you'd say yeah, no problem. You put your cartridge in the gun and go bang, bang, bang. So it must be the same for a target in a competition. If you've got a problem with that target, it will just multiply in a competition.
Well, what do you think about how many cartridges during the training day you must shoot? How many cartridges? 100, 200, and one training day, and during the year for the hunter, for the professional shooter?
Yeah, for the professional shooters at the top, because now you've got shooters out on the circuit, they're shooting 100,000 cartridges a year.
That's high level, right?
So this is the top level, like the professional ones, and but
average level?
Average, I think average. Most shooters are shooting around 15 to 25,000.
25, 15, yes.
15 to 25, and you can still win major competitions shooting 15 to 25,000 cartridges a year. The difference is the professional shooters who are shooting 100 plus, you'll look at their results and they never drop out of the top 4. Where if a shooter who's shooting 15 to 25,000 a year, if he's on a good day in that major competition, he can beat the professional, what I call a professional shooter. And that happens in all sports. But so when you're training, you need to push yourself to the limit to experience the control of the adrenaline and the control of your eyes and the repetition of the gun move.
Еще один вопрос тогда по поводу подготовки к соревнованиям. Вот Филипп, как профессиональный стрелок, может быть, нам откроет несколько своих секретов. Может быть, это и не будут секреты. Как он готовится к соревнованиям? Вот он сказал, что в течение года он стреляет, допустим, там, в крупных 20 турнирах. У него есть определенный уровень, средний, ниже которого он не должен опуститься. Вот он за ним следит, его держит. Но 4-5 соревнований он стреляет так, чтобы их выиграть. Ну, вот какая-то у него есть такая прерутина, в общем, подготовки в течение там 2 недель, месяца перед соревнованиями, может быть, там что-то касается еды, физических упражнений, ну и так далее, внутренней концентрации.
I eat the same, whether it's competition or not. I don't eat a heavy meal in between the competition.
What is a heavy meal? Meat?
You know, like a big meat,
Pasta,
yeah. You don't eat a huge lunch halfway through a competition. I have my breakfast in the morning, and then I'll shoot the competition. Maybe eat a bar of chocolate and a drink.
So you need to be hungry, yeah?
Yeah, you can't be full because I think it takes away the hunger or the concentration. You become sleepy.
It's during the competition and before.
And before it's just
months before.
No, you train so that there's not a weakness in any target. So when you're shooting, say for example, a batu, I'll shoot a batu from 10 yards to example 60, and
every 5 meters. Yes.
every 5 or 10 meters, and basically at 60 meters, if I can hit that batu 80%, that's enough to
5
win.
from 10. Yes. 8 from 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
8 from 10. And but once I come down to the 35 meters, I got to be 100% back to the 10 meters.
So you do you prefer? As a question, do you prefer to shoot before competitions doubles? But you during the competitions you shoot doubles all the time.
Yeah, I shoot. Example, if I was shooting fit as sporting, I would practice, make sure my gun's down, and practice that. If I was shooting compact sporting, I then have my gun. Example, if you've got some targets where you need to shoot quick, you can start to raise your gun. You can call pull and start to raise your gun. In fit as sporting, you can't move the gun. The same as ski, Olympic ski. You can't move the gun till you see the target. So I would just realistically practice that for 3 weeks. That's the only difference.
3 weeks it's enough.
Yeah, that's it.
Philip, but what was your during your profi shoot career? What was your maximum during the training day and during the year? Do you remember?
About 70,000 cartridges. 70.
70
Yeah.
in the year.
During the year.
What year it was?
When I was 25.
Okay, and during one training day?
I do push myself to extreme where I can't do nothing because I think it make it stronger. I shot 2,000 cartridges in a day.
Сейчас я попрошу Филиппа рассказать немножко такой отвлеченной теме. Он участвовал, наверное, не участвовал, он стрелял в течение одного дня голубей. Есть такое, не знаю, как назвать, соревнование, по-моему, где-то в Южной Америке. И, в общем, начинается оно в 6 утра и заканчивается там, ну, когда световой день, там 9-10 вечера. И, в общем, там участвует целая команда и считают, сколько стрелок сбил голубей в течение дня. Вот немножко попрошу Филиппа об этом рассказать, об этом своем опыте.
Yeah, these small doves which are a pest in Argentina. Argentina. There's like 50 million of them. And they attack the crops on the fields, and the farmers need to get rid of them.
Okay.
And we take people to Argentina from England and Russia. Realistically, it's good hunting, and it's good for your competition shooting because you get all different angles, judgments, and speeds.
And how many cartridges you shoot? How many doves you shoot?
I did a record. I shot 9,400 cartridges in one day.
It's a world record?
I don't know about world record, but there's a record on that location.
In the local place, yeah?
In this
9,
region. 9,400.
400.
But it's not recommended because I did a damage to a nerve going through my neck, down through my shoulder.
What was the gun?
Beretta 20 gauge automatics. And I had constant ache in my arm for a year.
There was 2 guns, I think.
3.
3.
2 people loading.
2 people loading, you shoot.
Yeah.
Сейчас еще один вопрос Филиппу. Вот в Англии почти все стрелки, ну, во-первых, они все охотники, но даже если профессиональный стрелок, очень много людей охотятся на все виды птиц. Ну, сейчас Филипп расскажет. У нас очень много стрелков, ну, считающих себя, в общем, даже если любителями или профессионалами, то относящихся к этому как, ну, пусть это хобби или спорт, но, в общем, они потом не перекладывают свои знания на охоту и охотятся, ну, редко или мало. Вот что Филипп об этом думает, мы поговорим, насколько это полезно. Хотя мы знаем, что это полезно, но, наверное, как-то это нужно Ну, есть такая особенность, в общем, у российских стрелков, что охотников из них достаточно немного. Хотя, может, я ошибаюсь.
Well, that's the difference in climate because in Russia you have moose, bear, big animals, and use rifles. In England we don't have no big animals much. We do have some red deer, but mostly we got pigeons, ducks, and rabbits. So this all represents similar to the competition shooting, and that gives everybody, you practice your instincts. So a hunter uses his instincts for like 1.5 seconds. When he hears a bird or sees a bird, his reactions are his eyes focus that bird, understanding what the bird's going to do next, and the gun comes into his shoulder automatic, and he sees the picture, which is the lead, and the shot is like this immediately. The difference with the hunting is because you can't shoot enough of it, repetition, the same target, you can't practice your concentration. But in the competition and with the clay targets, you can practice the concentration, but you don't get such a huge variety of distances and speeds as you do in hunting.
What kind of birds do you like to shoot on? Maybe you think the most difficult?
Mostly the pigeon and the goose are the most difficult.
Why goose?
Because the distance, and is very the pigeon and the goose are very clever. If they see you, they move, and the goose is deceptive. It's a big bird, looks slow, but it's very fast.
Okay, and what about rabbits?
Rabbits not so difficult, as in they can only do so much. So once you understand it, then he can move, of course, but he can't really do so much as a bird in the air.
Сейчас, ну опять же, возвращаясь к теме British Open, я хочу спросить Филиппа, ну, что он вообще думает о такой специализации, профессии в Англии, как настройщик полетов, вообще в чем их мастерство. Ну, может быть, несколько слов о Стиве Ловате, потому что он настраивал, его приглашали и на British Open, и сейчас пригласили мы. В общем, что нам ожидать от такого, в общем, крутого английского парня?
Steve Lovett's got the highest recommendation in the UK for creating targets which is deceptive to the shooter.
What do you mean deceptive?
Like the shooter look at it and think, oh, this is easy, this is no problem.
Yeah.
And then when he goes to shoot it, he misses it and he can't understand why. And then when he's come off the stand, he goes back and think, oh wow, that was crazy. I didn't understand this target was at the top point of when I wanted to shoot it, was actually drifting away. It was drifting in. Or where he puts a double where you've got one target high, so when you shot this target, your gun is, example, high in the air, and the report target is coming from down here. So then what happens is a shooter will go,
Blind area.
he shoots the target here, and then as soon as the referee's pressed the button, the other target comes blind, and then they're gone over the top, or they missed it because they haven't read it properly. So if you don't read this properly and you don't go shoot, instantly drop your gun down here and your eyes go to this target, then you come up and catch it. This is the type of things which he's renowned for. He doesn't put targets on which are all closed just to beat the shooter like this. There'll be open targets at good distance, and you'll have multiple. You won't get two stands the same.
Okay. He shoots himself also.
Yeah, he shoots himself also.
But if he created a program for, if he architecture, for example, British Open, he didn't shoot this.
No. Just course. Yeah.
Еще один вопрос Филиппу. Ну, такой жизненный. Филипп, в принципе, ну, не знаю, профессиональный стрелок. Такой вопрос, что такое вот жизнь профессионального стрелка? Потому что с ранних лет Филипп рос, стрелял, в общем, это его жизнь, он этим и зарабатывает. Ну, просто хочу спросить и понять, что для него жизнь в спорте и жизнь профессионального стрелка.
Realistic is a bit lonely because you have to put so much time into getting a good result. And when you're concentrating and when you're switched off, it's not actually as glamorous as what a lot of people think. But the satisfaction you get from winning puts it all into perspective, and that's why we do it, because it's worth it for the satisfaction we get back from getting the good result. But it's not easy to maintain a level, consistency, then to go and win a competition.
Lonely way to result.
A long way to the result, yeah.
Long or lonely?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Ну, я хочу задать вопрос Филиппу. С каких оружий начинают новички в Англии стрелять? Ну, в общем, какие-то основные такие базовые модели, может быть, недорогие, основные характеристики, может быть, длина стволов. Вот. Ну и, наверное, там уточняющий вопрос. Сейчас у нас в связи с изменением курса цены на все иностранные оружия сильно поднялись. В общем, что он думает или знает о нашей знаменитой марке МЦ, которая производится на заводе Skip в Туле, вот, который они называют тулачок. Ну, в общем, такой вопрос.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. When I was 17 years old, which is a long while ago, but in England, the most popular gun for beginners was a bagel. Was a bagel. So we all the
semi-automatic, yeah?
no, the over and under.
Over and under.
Over and under bagel, and they were made to indestructible. They were low cost price, and when we was all going hunting and shooting local competitions, they were affordable. And then after that, we then moved to the Berettas and the Brownings, and then mid-range prices and reliable guns, and the length barrels was 76. 76.
75, 76.
Yeah, 75, 76.
Some low price, Browning, reliable guns, yes?
Yeah, just reliable guns. So now you have, so you still got your bagels, but you've got MC guns, which are very reliable. They have adjustable stocks. They have all the high-spec barrels, the Conan in the barrels. So there's no, you've already got your gun manufacturer here. You've got Azot cartridges. So you've got everything here in Russia. Which
you recommend adjustable stock for the newcomer?
But then for the newcomer, it depends on their budget. So I always say to people, work within your budget, what you're comfortable with. You're not going to spend lots of money on a gun to improve your performance when you start out, because it's not possible.
So low money for the guns, yes, and maximum money for the maximum budget for the target.
Yeah, because that's where you're going to learn.
Yes.
You need the shoot, and that's where you're going to learn to shoot. The gun is just a, obviously when you have a Krieghoff or a Perazzi, they have all the fantastic engraving and the wood, but it's a different thing. It's they're lovely to look at, they're lovely to shoot, but for the beginner, we're not interested in that. We're interested in building up their shooting skills.
Ну, я не могу не задать следующий вопрос, так как мы находимся в стрелковом клубе СКМ, всеми нам известным, любимым. Филипп давно здесь не был, и сегодня первый раз увидел 4 новые площадки, 5, 6, 7, 8, восхитился, и вот несколько слов хотели бы от него услышать, какие его впечатления.
Yeah, I was impressed today when I looked. I've done a really good job maximising the amount of targets in a small area. So, and it's very good because you can go out, shoot, just short walk, shoot again, and you've got every angle there, which you can train on, which will give you the skill to go to any competition. So I was rather impressed how quick you've done it. Yeah, yeah, and you can change them easy when you want to change them. So it's very versatile and effective.
Ну, тогда заканчивая наш разговор, мы прощаемся с Филиппом, ждем от него каких-то пожеланий для российских спортсменов, вообще увлекающихся стендовой стрельбой.
Yeah, so basically everybody has to begin somewhere, and all top shooters began at the bottom and they never gave up, and that's why they're at the top. So if you desire to be a winner, if you stick with this sport and go through and never give up, you will reach the top. I like the Pigeon TV channel. I think it's a fantastic forum and platform for shooters in Russia to start to understand more about shooting. So it's a brilliant thing what you've created. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All the best. До свидания.
Пока.